I want to remind all of you, if you haven't done so already, to go down to the comments section after this video is done and click on the link that is pinned to the top of the comment section, and you will be redirected to the website where you can get your very first Arana Nation t-shirts in white, light gray, or dark gray. This is just in time for spring and summer, which I wish would hurry up and get the hell and come over here instead of having all this winter in the middle. I am sick of it. I am sick of it. But get your Arana Nation t-shirts, and last time I checked, they were selling like hotcakes. They were selling like Jamaican patties on Dollar Patty Day in the middle of Kingston, Jamaica, in the Tivoli Gardens district. So they are very popular, and I thank all of my subscribers for getting one. And those of you who haven't gotten one, I will find out who you are and I will pistol whip you. And I'm just kidding about that, but make sure you get them because it's very important that we stand up to these social media oligarchs who continuously demonetize the Arana Nation's videos and restrict the Arana Nation from getting the proper funding it needs to fund this operation to become better viewing for you, the wonderful fans and subscribers of the Arana Nation. But one of the things that disturbs me about this jobs report that has come out by Stats Canada is that, economists had been expecting Stats Can to announce around 20,000 new jobs. And despite the increase in jobs, the unemployment rate stayed the same because about 30,000 more people were looking for work. So, simply put, there were as many new job seekers as there were job getters. So, despite the fact that there were jobs being created, or I should say jobs being created, there were still just as many people looking for jobs. And this is according to Scotiabank economist Derek Holt. But the thing about this is, my friends, is that I've already revealed in my previous video that most of these jobs that were created by the government. So really, this isn't the economy at work. And in fact, I also revealed that many private sector jobs were actually going down. They were leaving Canada. So if you look at it, jobs are actually leaving Canada, and the government is just creating jobs. They're just cooking the economy, creating jobs. They're creating new departments. They're growing the government. They're growing the bureaucracy at our expense, by the way, because we pay taxes for them to do this. And they're growing the bureaucracy and hiring more people. And on top of that, I've also uncovered that these jobs that the government are creating are temporary jobs, but a lot of part-time private jobs are actually leaving Canada. Now, it's funny because I also dug deeper into this jobs report, and most of the jobs that are being created are in Saskatchewan and Quebec. Now, Saskatchewan and Quebec are the two provinces with classical liberal governments. Now, I don't mean liberal as in Matt Daddy liberal. I mean liberal as in classical liberal, which is center-right liberal, neoliberal. So Saskatchewan has the Saskatchewan Party, which is a center-right party, and then Quebec has the Quebec Liberal Party, which is not the Matt Daddy liberals, but they are classical neoliberals, even though they're only right-wing in Quebec standards, so most of Canada would still consider them to be center-left. But for Quebec, compared to the Bloc Québécois and Quebec Solidaire, they're center-right, because those other ones are just pure madness. So those two governments, those two provincial governments with center-right neoliberal governments are the ones creating jobs, and the rest of them have to rely on the government cooking the economy and creating more government jobs and growing the bureaucracy to show good jobs numbers. Now, that's not good for the economy. That's not capitalism. That's just government cooking the economy. That's just the Matt Daddy and Kathleen Wynne and Rachel Notley and the rest of them just saying, well, private sector jobs are leaving Canada, and actually the natural resources sector is taking a huge beating thanks to the socialist left that is running this country into the ground, and that's according to the jobs report. So they're using our tax dollars to grow the bureaucracy and to make themselves look good. So basically, our tax dollars are being used to grow the government, to make the government look good. And they couldn't even create full-time jobs. They have to create part-time, temporary government jobs. So they are hired long enough to make the government look good, but when nobody's looking, they throw them right back onto the street. Now, that doesn't seem like the economy at work. That just seems like the Mac Daddy and his minions at work. The long-haired, swift-foot, personal day, lazy bum Mac Daddy. So Canada's economy is doing poorly, according to the Arana Nation, and according to the jobs report that has been released. The only jobs that are being created are government sector jobs. They're growing the bureaucracy. They're growing our debt. I mean, our debt is out of control. Look at Ontario alone has the largest sub-sovereign debt in the world. One of these days, the interest on that debt is going to be so bad that we're going to be using our taxes to pay off the interest on the debt instead of using the taxes to pay for healthcare, education, infrastructure, and all the things that we rely on. And that's the same thing with the federal government. So we're growing the debt to make the government look good. They're creating more jobs. They're growing the bureaucracy, growing the government, growing everything. And private sector jobs are going down. People can't dream in Canada. People can't say, well, one day I want to grow a business. I've always said that we need to stop focusing on finding a job and working for some fool, for some wanker up in the top echelons of the establishment. We need to create jobs. We need to become the establishment. We don't want to work for we work. If you think about it, really, from the time we are popped out, we only get 2 times of our life when we're really able to enjoy life. When we're babies and when we're seniors and retired. Now, when you're a baby, your parents look after you. You don't have a care in the world. But between that time and to the time you become a retiree, and even they're having to start working now because they're not getting enough money because the public social insurance system and pension plans, they're all about to go bankrupt because that's being mismanaged. The government just seems to be mismanaging everything. But in between that period of your life, you're just working. And that's why, people are falling back in school. That's why people are getting lazy, because they're tired of it. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they are sick and tired of working like dogs when our prime minister takes every other day to dedicate it to his personal day. Like I just talked about in my last video. We get up, we get stuck in traffic, we have to go to work, we have to go to school, we have to do what someone else tells us, go home, and if you're in school, you got to do a boatload of homework. If you're at work, you're too tired to hang around with your family. You go to sleep, repeat the cycle, and then our oligarch masters give us, 2 days out of the week to relax. And in fact, many people don't even get those 2 weeks. So we're just working. It's not fair. It's not right. But this jobs report thing, it's crap. The economy in Canada is doing very poorly. Private sector jobs are leaving Canada. The natural resources sector is going down under. The only thing that's growing is the government, and the only jobs that are being created are government jobs, and the debt is growing. So really, the economy is not doing well. And on top of that, there are more people who are looking for work than there are people who are actually getting jobs. So the government can't even cook the economy properly. But that's the society we live in. And until Canadians finally realize that what they're doing is foolishness by continuing to elect people like the long-haired Matt Gaddy and Kathleen Cowperthwaite Jezebel Wynne and Rachel Notley from the socialist hell of fire, formerly known as Alberta, until we realize that, we're not going to get anywhere. This is the Nation.